All right, it seems like everybody is in here. Welcome, everybody. If you have not been joining us for the last few days, we've been going hard on bullying. You see, it's not enough to stand by and do nothing while other young people, other sometimes adults, sometimes older people, elderly neglect is going on. They're being bullied in their nursing home. Now, I know that it doesn't just happen with the kids in school, but that's what we've been concentrating on most of the time throughout the week. But most of the principles that we've been talking about apply very well to the to any facet of life, be it an adult, be it overweight, be it disabled, be it elderly. Okay, so all of that stuff kind of ties in. So if you guys are joining me here this morning for the live stream, just put in the comments who you are, where you're from, just so we can know you're here. All right, and we're going to get started right away. I know it's Friday. Some of you might have had to go into work. I know you might have to sneak and find out what we got for you. But today, you might notice the title of the video, and the video is called "Everyone's Guilty, Even the Victim." See, I know we like to blame one side for this, but everyone needs to take responsibility because, truthfully, was the victim's parents involved enough so that they could, I guess, train their child to be able to stand up for themselves? Did they instill the discipline in their child to not let anybody take advantage of them? Did they teach their child to have confidence? And were they involved enough so the kid knew that if something did go wrong, they had somebody to talk to? Is that right? Okay, so we got to figure out what's going on here. As far as, we can't just blame one side. It's both sides. We already know the bully's parents are fucked up, all right, in a lot of cases, all right? Not all the time. Sometimes they don't know. But in a lot of cases, they're messed up. Now, if we go to the other side of this, we got to realize that neglect resides on both sides of this equation. So I see some people coming in here. All right, the light, hey there. All right, so like it. All right, he's back. Gave some really good insights yesterday. Shelly Shells. All right, so Shelly Shells, I think. All right, it said hi. All right, she's in here. So good stuff. We got people coming in. Go ahead and throw in the chat what you guys are, where you're from, what your name is. That's already up there. But anything you want to throw out. Now, I asked yesterday, could you all please come and bring some of your best ideas that you know about bullying? Okay, some of the best ideas that you've had about bullying, and see how that works. So that's what we want to get to today. The real world applications that actually work with human beings and not just theory in a book. I know people like to do interviews. I know people like to talk to the bullied children, but do they talk to all of them together? I think that's one of the biggest things that we can do. Talk to all the parties together, not just the victim, not just the bully, but the parents of both as well in that same room to see what is actually going on so they can see each other's side of this, because there's empathy and love that can go both ways to help both parties in this particular case with regard to the two families, right? There's always enough love to go around because goodness knows we got a lot more negativity going on in the world right now. So I see some more people coming in. David Simmons, love your videos and you're really hot. Good eye candy. Please keep making these videos, and thanks, David. I appreciate it. Hate bullying. All right, so now we talked about hate bullying. Now you're saying you hate bullying, but we were actually talking about hate as in discrimination, as in somebody hates you for your skin color, because of your sexual orientation, because you're a woman, that kind of stuff. All right, so we don't, I mean, absolutely, I don't think one is better than the other, but when there's hate behind it, I think it's a little bit more severe than somebody who's just picking on you because you're small or picking on you because you're shy. All right, not to say that the damage that the victim feels is any less. Okay, so good stuff. All right, so we got Raphael. All right, he's back in here. I know, so he's late, right? You got to go to sleep. But I just finished watching an anime about a 13-year-old goth reaper who recharges his power from drinking breast milk. I was just wondering, God, if God still loves me. Raphael, I'm not God, so I can't answer that for you. All right, so, but I'm glad you joined us here this morning. So when you guys get this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a few slides so you guys can see this. And I've kind of put together some stuff from what you guys have put together. And I want to see if it's actually, if we can add some more to this as we go here. And I want to try to put that in a PDF so it can help other people so they can download it, of course, for free. Okay, so on top of that, I don't want to leave it at a PDF because I don't want it to be just another piece of literature on the internet about bullying. I want to incorporate some videos into this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to edit these videos that we've done for this entire week and put that in a series so that people can actually go and get some of this advice that you guys have given in video form as well, so that it can be more interactive. So as they're watching or have the sheet in their hand, they can actually benefit from the video. So watching and learning at the same time, and hopefully writing their own notes. And hopefully, I think I might be able to put it into a form where people can write notes on the thing and kind of tailor it to their family and their situation instead of trying to make it a broad general thing for everybody. Okay, so I found that specifics work way better than trying to go or include everybody. Let people come up with their own decisions. All you got to do is guide them a little bit. So good stuff there. All right, I see more people coming in here. Excellent. So just tell us where you're from, and then we're going to get started in just a second here. But like I said, I got some slides here for you. So let me go ahead. I'm going to put those up, and we're going to get started right now. So I'm glad to see you guys coming in. I like this. So Friday, the finale, we're wrapping this up. And again, the title of the video is It's Everybody's Fault. One last thing before we actually get started here, and that is, if you have not already, all right, you know, I have a book out. Now, the book is called Eat Butter, Smoke Marijuana, Kill Cancer, and Live to 100 Years Old. There are 18 chapters in this book. You'll notice it's not that thick. That's because I wanted to cut out all the fluff and make sure that everybody had an opportunity to get the book. Now, some people might look at it and say, what is it going to do for me? Well, it concentrates on cancer. It helps you lose weight. It deals with my method on getting rid of depression. So those things are available right now. So you don't have to go through and watch all my videos. You can actually buy the book, go right to the page, all right, go right to the page and get the protocol that you need and go ahead and implement it today instead of waiting. You see, it's all about getting in on it on time. So nothing about bullying in this book, but just because it's mine, I am going to plug it. Pow! All right, so good stuff. Now, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and load this for you so you guys can actually see. Now, we got there's some very interesting stuff here. All right, so, and I'm going to share this with you, and I want to see if you guys can see this. Okay, so I got it. Boom. All right, so we got a presentation that's up in front of you right now that you guys should be watching. It says ideas on how to end bullying. Solutions come from those involved, not those who speak of being involved. All right, so hopefully you guys can see that. Okay, now we got the application up there, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually run through these slides and see what we can do as far as the remedies to make this actionable now. Okay, we want to make this actionable now. So what we're going to do, let's go to the next one here. Okay, now the next slide, what do we do? All right, so now we spoke about these things earlier in the week. Okay, now the first one says targeting the bully's parents. Okay, so that's what we want to do. Talk to the parents face to face. We don't want this to be a phone conversation. We don't want this to be through the internet where things tend to get a little more volatile because you're not looking at another human being in the face. Makes you apt to say stupid stuff. Okay, and then it says let them know how they are affecting other kids. You see, the bully's parents might not know that if you encourage bullying, you're actually destroying the life of another young person. Is that what we really want? I don't think so. So show love, okay? Tough love trumps stern discipline. Now, love, people don't like to use it because it's very seldom. See, people use the word all the time, but do they actually show it in their actions and in real life? I don't think so. So sometimes we got to be cautious, a little cautious about that. And lastly, stand up. Teach your children self-defense. Fighting back mandates training. You can't just tell them to stand up for themselves. They have to know what to do. All right. My dad took me out in the backyard for a week straight, showing me stuff that I could do to protect myself. And he made it clear you are not to attack anybody because you know any of this stuff. You're not to attack anybody because you feel tougher. You are supposed to defend yourself if somebody tries to mess with you. Okay, that's what I want to really instill. When you become a Kung Fu master, the #1 tenet of any martial arts program is the fight should be the last result. Okay, unless you're in MMA. Okay, then it's a little different. But that's the most overriding tenet of any discipline of fighting. You use the hand-to-hand combat that you learned last. Okay, does that make sense to everybody? So I hope it does. So we're going to bring this back. Okay. So having talked about some of these things, and I guess you guys noticed I'm not wearing a tie today, decided to go without it because it's the finale. So I just wanted to know if it looked a little different or if you guys appreciate it. What do you think? All right. So no tie? No. Okay. So I'm going to go to the next one, but let's get some of you guys' opinions on this. I want to see how this is going and how this is working out. So let me see here. We got... All right, I like this. Oh, we got some good ones coming in. All right, I believe it's strictly due to the internal pain of the bully himself, him or her. I'm no psychologist, but through observation, I've come to realize it's usually brewed in at the home. All right, so the light, couldn't agree with you more. It's always festering in the home because as a young person and a young human being, you have no choice from the age of birth till you're about 6, 7 years old. You have no choice on what goes into your brain and what is expressed. Okay, so you're just trying to figure out how to survive in this world. That's all your brain is concerned about. It's not worried about kindergarten. It's not worried about first grade. It's not worried about your best friend. It's not worried about what mom or dad are doing in the bedroom. Your mind is trying to figure out, how do I survive? How do I get around? If a threat presents itself, can I run or can I fight? That's it. Okay. Parasympathetic and sympathetic responses. All right. Do I relax now because the environment is safe? That kind of stuff. So, all right. So I got another one here. All right. Oh, I like that. She said Queensland. Okay. I see that. I think that's a television show. I'm not sure. All right. Love your info on bullying. Canada here, Sandy. All right, we really do appreciate you coming from across the border. All right, so I love it. See, these are the kind of invasions we love from overseas when you're coming for positivity. That's what I'm talking about. The light. I have a lot more to say, but the comments won't allow that much. So put them in intermittently. The light. Put them in there. Okay. So yes, sir. My kids understand the boxing lessons I give are for protection only. See, that's what I'm talking about. See, that's somebody who has communication with their kid. That's somebody who is paying attention. Okay? And I'm not saying the rest of you aren't. Don't think that. I'm saying that the light has put into place a training so that his kids can stand up for themselves and not be victims in life. Okay, so we got Grace. All right, hello, Grace. How you doing? Hi, everyone. I think I felt more bullied at home as I was growing up. I had a cousin that was a bully who took advantage when my parents were not at home. It was very difficult. Well, all right, now, Grace, I think a lot of us dealt with stuff like that because I had mean cousins and stuff like that, people I couldn't stand next to because they would just randomly try to kick you or hit you in the stomach, in the head and stuff like that, and thought it was funny. So I don't think that shit is funny. I think it is morally reprehensible that when you tell your parents, sometimes the parents don't even believe the kid that is being bullied. Oh, you're just fabricating this stuff. You're exaggerating. Has anybody ever had that before? You're exaggerating. All right. So kids, they blow up stuff in their mind. They do. But when a kid tells you that they've been abused in some form or fashion, there's no way you should be ignoring that and downplaying that. You should immediately, your sensors should turn on and be like, wait, what did you say? No, let's talk about that. All right. So sit down. Let's have a little talk. Okay. So that kind of stuff. Shelly. All right. Oh no, she was telling me where she was from. Queensland, Australia, the Sunshine State. Sorry about that. I think I was thinking about Queen Sugar or something. So Queensland, Australia, gotcha. Okay, so good stuff. All right, now I'm gonna go to one more slide here and show you guys this. So let me throw it up here for you. There we go, and pow. All right, so I think you can see it. Hold on, let me see. I gotta see if you can see it, and takes a while to do this. This should be faster. All right, so we got that one. Okay, now, since we got this up here, let's go ahead and go to the next one. It says real world suggestions from the classroom. Now, you'll see it says a big KA. That's one of the users who have been coming every day to watch. Now, she is a dedicated school teacher. She has her own classroom. She knows how to manage a classroom. She knows the psychology of children. She knows the psychology of the administration. She knows how this all works together and how parents play a vital role in these things. Okay, now it says these are her points that she brought out that I kind of got wind of and kind of put together in a slide. It says we have to treat both sides with love, but not excuse the behavior. See, I like that because love is the most powerful emotion that we have, and it cuts deep. Even if you're a bully, even if you're somebody who doesn't appear to show emotion, when somebody shows love for you, it gets there. Okay, it gets there. So love cuts. And it cuts deep. And that's what I like. It cuts deeper than any other knife, any other emotion that you can use. All right. And I love it because it's positive. All right. It's positive. The next one she says is people have to know you care before they let you in. There's an old cliche that people love saying. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. You guys might have heard that before. This is extrapolation on the same thing. Okay. Nobody wants to listen to you or let you help them with their problems unless they really feel that you have their best interests at heart. So make sure you pay attention to that as it's happening, okay? And lastly, she says, even bullied respond to love and understanding more so than constant discipline. See, discipline means that it has a negative connotation, first of all. And then secondly, discipline only lasts for a while. See, the discipline only takes or has effect as long as the discipline is being enforced. If it's not being enforced, then all of a sudden, those kids will go right back to the same behavior because nothing was done. And I use this background because I like that. I'm an instructor myself in a college, so I use the chalkboard background here. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. Okay, so we got the next one here, and this is from Marcus Macon. Now, this is my cousin, and he's been on these I think almost every day, and he's given some severe enlightenment as to the personal nature of bullying, how to deal with bullying, and things like that. Real world suggestions from the pulpit. He's also a pastor. Now take a look at this. It says sometimes parents have to change their schedules to make time for their children. This can positively change the trajectory of a child's entire life. All right. He had to change jobs in order to spend more time with his son, and doing that completely changed the trajectory of his son's life. And now everything, his son's attitude, the way he goes about life, the way he interacts with the family is completely different. You need to be there, parents. All right. Most often, boys are more likely to take advice from counsel from their dad rather than from their mom. Boys relate to their dad and often see him as a hero. See, boys relate to their father, girls relate to their mother. Ladies, if you're a single mother and you're raising a son, he needs to talk, and not to discredit your effort, okay? Don't think that. He needs to talk to somebody he can identify with, who he can level with, who knows what he's been through. See, that gets to the problem faster than you trying to figure it out as you go. See, it's already built into a man, so if you get a good role model, not any man, a good role model, that actually helps. And it says, I taught them how to deal with situations one at a time. See, that's big. Because everybody believes they can multitask, but the truth is the brain doesn't know how to do that. People say they love multitasking. What you're doing is switching from one task to the other quickly. It's still doing one thing. You're just changing the task you're doing. Okay, so there's really no such thing as multitasking. It's almost an impossibility for your brain. Now, I can't say totally impossible because I know some people have special brains out there, special skills. But for the most part, I know I have trouble with it. Okay, I think I can, but I have trouble with it. So now that I realize, I'm like, oh, I am doing one thing at a time when I go on about my day. So that was actually quite enlightening to find out that about yourself. So I hope you enjoyed that, those slides there, and hopefully everything is going right. But oh, you know what? I think I got one more. Wait, I think the light is on here right now, and the light, I had one for you too. So let me see. I got this. Let me put it up here. Okay. This takes too long to load these things. All right, so let me go to the next slide here. All right, now take a look. Real world suggestions, and it still says from the pulpit. I forgot to change it. All right, so but it says here. Wait a minute. Let me see. Aha. Aha. There we go. All right, so it's all good. Okay, so now we got it. All right, now, if you teach your kids to be themselves, this will breed confidence and they will walk through life with their heads up. So a great and excellent point by the light. He's in here right now, so feel free to comment on his brilliant suggestions to stopping bullying. The next point he gives, I developed my confidence from my parents, but I've always been the kind of person to express myself. See, he said he always kind of had the confidence to stand up for himself and not let people bully or mess with him in that way. So I have to fully agree with the light when he's giving these very profound comments along with Marcus. So I really do appreciate you guys tuning in, doing what you're doing, and engaging the way that you're engaging. So I want to see. I probably skipped some people here. Love. All right, Martell, welcome. All right, I like that. So Shelly says, I got bullied 4 years ago. Now that's relatively recent. All right. I didn't fight back. He drove drunk on my property and stole property, and I called the police. Then I was labeled a dober by half the town. What does that mean? All right, so I don't know what that means. Dober? All right, I don't know. A troublemaker? I don't know. All right, so Grace, they actually did with him because they left him in charge of us. So I understand the difficulty of others who had no one to stand up for them. I watch out for kids so I can encourage and help get them help. All right, so good stuff, Grace. That's exactly what I'm talking about. You have to stand up for the kids so that they have their own advocate until they can stand up for themselves, which goes back to the training that the light was talking about. You have to prepare for these things. I know parents want to let their kids be kids, but the parents they're trying to raise their kid in a vacuum, acting as if they will never interact with another human being. And that is just not the case. You have to interact with other people. You live on the planet Earth with other human beings. You're going to be, this is what actually got rid of my anger in traffic. I don't live by myself on Earth, right? So when I was driving to work and getting extremely enraged, I mean pissed off at people who are driving around me, I realized they're doing the same thing that I'm doing. They are trying to build in their mind that the world is going to conform itself to the way I think it should be in my head, and it don't work that way. We all know that, but you refuse to acknowledge it because you want what you want when you want it because you're spoiled mentally. See, online, if you don't like somebody, you can just delete them. You can unfriend them. You can never have to see them again. You can ban them from your account. But in real life, you can't do that to people. You see, if you try to delete somebody in person, they'll punch you in the face. Right? That's where bullying comes from. So they can't wait to see you and stalk you in real life or cyber. You have to be able to look at it as for what it is. You do have to exist with other human beings. You are going to have to interact with them. So don't be afraid to start that interaction, which is what we're talking about. If you start the interaction and you create a communication between you, people who know you look you in the face, and even if they're not your friend, they have more respect for you if you carry confidence about yourself, and then we can stop this back and forth bullying crap where one side is dominating the other, and instead we can have more of an equal exchange even with the bully. Because I doubt if they want to go around picking on little kids if they knew that there was more to get out of the relationship. That's what I believe. Okay. So, all right. We got Marcus Macon. This is great. All right. I love it. All right. All right. I meant to say sided with him. I got you, Grace. I think I figured it. Martell, at some point, we have to move forward and learn how to grow from our past, not stay stuck in the past either. I think that's very important, not to make light of anyone's past position. I got bullied as a kid. And you're right, Martell, you do have to move past it. I fully agree with you. You must move past it. And these comments are absolutely fantastic here. I beat the bully in front of our whole class. Sandy, all right, with the fisticuffs. All right, that's what happened. Now, I'm assuming, Sandy, that's probably a last attempt when they wouldn't leave you alone. It wasn't like Sandy went and sought out the bully and like, I'm tired of you messing with me, and punched him in the back of the head. It probably wasn't like that. The bully probably kept on and kept on and kept on until she got just pissed and just whooped him right there. Boom, in front of the whole class. I like that. No more bullying from the big coward. Same thing happened with me, junior high school. All right, so I told you about that yesterday. Okay, so my mother told me never to hit anyone first. I've never started a fight, but I definitely finished it. Thank God. You know what? My mom and dad told me the same thing. My dad was like, you don't start the fight, but you better damn well finish it. And that's the way he put it. So I was like, okay. And that instilled the confidence in me, even though I wasn't the most scrappy person. I wasn't the one to fight back. I wasn't the fisticuff. Every time something happens, I was ready to throw down. I wasn't like that. Like I said, I was a nerd. But when it came time to it and I had to protect myself and my dad had given me that confidence, I was just like, no matter what, all right, I'm going to do what my dad taught me, period. Okay, so good stuff. All right. I see. A dauber definition. Okay. So it says hood to hood. Thank you for coming in. All right. So peace family. Had to tune in and support. Thank you. All right. Hood to hood. I really do appreciate that. So Belle, okay, she's in here. Shelly, 3 months ago, I was verbally abused. Next time I think it's going to become physical from my part. So Shelly, let them do it. Sometimes you might be thinking and building up something in your head that you want to do to them, and they might have changed their mind. So if it does get verbal or something like that, or you have to protect yourself, I say you have to protect yourself. However, don't escalate it on your end. Okay, remember, we don't want this to turn into weapons. We don't want this to turn into guns or anything like that where people are physically getting harmed or losing their existence here on this planet. We don't want that. Okay, so just think about it before you just think about it. Okay, man, I'm a lover, not a fighter, Martell says, okay? But I will beat that ass if I have to, but I'd rather not. And I love that sentiment. I'm the same way. I'm a lover, not a fighter, all right? I like spending time with my woman, not time fighting other men for theirs, okay? And even other men, period, all right? I want to create partnerships with other men so that we can do great things in this world, not to be fighting or trying to have grudges or, beefs with each other. Not into that kind of stuff. But I hope you guys saw the slides that we ran through a little bit earlier. I put up a slide from KA. I put up a slide from Marcus Macon. I put up a slide from The Light, who, as Marcus Macon and The Light are in here right now. Haven't seen KA yet, but I'm sure we will. Now, this is what I'm going to ask you to do before it gets too late. I asked you all yesterday to bring some of your best ideas, so that we can see what actually is going to be some solutions we can give to people, little kids, adults, elderly, whatever, who are being bullied right now, and how it can help them in their household. All right. So I need right now for you to succinctly put out some of your best ideas as far as getting us to a better, more positive state, interacting with bullies, dealing with bullies and their parents, victims and their parents. Give me something that can really, somebody can take in their house right now, start talking to their kid today and learn from that experience, okay? That's what I asked you to bring yesterday. If you can think of something on the spot, if you weren't here yesterday, please do your best. Pull out some brain power. See what we can come up with together to help somebody do something in their house this evening. All right, this evening. Like if you knew you had a meeting and you were going to be meeting somebody this evening in their living room and you had to deliver something that was going to be effective for their child who was being bullied or for your child who is a bully. All right, let's go both sides on this. what would you do, or what would you tell them to actually turn this into more of a positive situation, help them deal with this situation, and help everything kind of be worked out on a more cordial level instead of it escalating to violence and the bullying continues until somebody inevitably kills themselves? Okay, so we got some comments here. All right, Mark is making, I'm sure he's been thinking about this one. All right, so let's see. I believe I mentor children because I want to be there for kids that are not going through what I went through. I still live by the old saying, it takes a village to raise a child. I'm sure a lot of you believe that. I still believe that too. You see, but parents nowadays don't like to talk to each other. So the conversation is more like, don't touch my child. You don't tell my child what to do, instead of, thank you for keeping my child from going down a wrong path. And I really do appreciate you looking out for him. See, I would rather take that approach. Like Marcus says, the village helping you instead of the village being the enemy, and you want to sue them and you want to fight them and you want to curse them out and you never speak to them. See, I brought that up on Wednesday. Do you guys ever feel like people are not talking to you? That's what we need. We need a conversation here. And conversations is the action that prevents the violence. Right? All right, so we got another one. Shelley says, if you're going to be hurt no matter what, share the pain. Okay, now, Shelley, I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I want to spin that in a positive direction. If you're going to be hurt, hurt is your own personal response to what happened. So if we're going to be hurt, let's not say we're assuming that we're going to be hurt. But truthfully, when I encountered bullies later on in late middle school and early high school, by the time that I was playing basketball and stuff like that, it really didn't bother me any, because I had learned the coping skills and what I could do. I had, like the light said, I had that confidence in myself that you can't change who I am. You can't, I am Alvin Jackson. I will walk through the street and I know this life is mine to live until the day I take my last breath. And that is how I will treat it. So nobody will influence that. And I don't expect the world to change for me. All right. I don't expect people to lay out red carpets. I don't expect the Red Sea to part in order so I can walk through it. I am saying, though, no matter what you do to me, it will never change the content of my character. And that's what we have to get our kids to realize. You're important. Somebody has to give a damn. If you guys, I don't know if Mark, I don't know if you went to Clark Junior High, but there was a teacher there named Miss Lena Hill. And Miss Lena Hill has passed away since then, but she always started off every single class of ours. And she said, she made us stand up and say it 3-4 times. She made us stand up and say, I am somebody. Now, at the time when you're a kid, that's cheesy as hell. But when I'm an adult, that's the most profound thing you can try to instill in a child. And guess what? Here's the big takeaway. It worked. You see, if you tell a kid anything, and they'll take it if you tell them loud enough and you tell them long enough. Have you guys ever heard that? One of the most famous sayings in the world came from a dictator named Adolf Hitler. He said, if you tell a lie loud enough and long enough, people will have to believe it. They will have no choice but to believe it. Now, I take that as, that means I can use that on the positive side. I am somebody. I am somebody. I am somebody. We had to get louder every time we said it. And when she did, I didn't realize the impact it would have on me and my self-esteem as an adult. But see, just to have somebody who would be willing to stay after class and talk to you, make sure that everything was going all right, that kind of stuff, that's priceless to self-esteem. I want to get to some more here. Okay, so let's see here. Grace says, tell him or her that one more bullying and you will call the police and cause them to have to record. That will scar their name and their future. Oh, I see. Trying to put them on record so that they will be less apt to act. I see. Because if they have dreams, it can be shattered by bullying. And, oh, I like how she came from the bully side. And if the bully has an ambition, he wants to play sports, he might not be able to play sports with the football team anymore if he keeps on picking on young defenseless children. You know, I never thought of that as a tactic, but that's feasible. That's a real takeaway there. So parents, I'm going to advocate that you use that. All right. And the bully, don't think that you're taking anything away from the bully. All he gets to do is not beat up little kids. You see, he still gets to play football, provided he leaves people alone. If you want to beat up on somebody, go tackle somebody out on the field. If you want to pick on somebody, go get one of your classmates and pull their jock straps, one of your teammates, okay? Don't mess with somebody who has nothing to do with you and you just want to pick on them because they're smaller, okay? Hood to hood, there's a time for peace and a time for war, but when a bully disturbs your peace, it's time to go to war on a bully's ass, all right? Hood to hood, don't make that the first response. Now, if you have to, self-defense, yes, but initiating, all right, no. But I understand what you're saying, peace and war. If somebody comes in and invades your peace and they're messing with your life, sometimes you have to protect yourself. But once again, no guns, no knives, no weapons. Handle it the old school way so it doesn't escalate, all right? And sometimes you have no choice over that. It escalates anyway, I know, okay? All right, Suk, he's back. Welcome. Suk is back in the conversation. Put them into physical activities, spend time with them, take the kids for volunteer work such as help with the poor, telling them helping them mankind is the greatest thing. Oh man, Suk has come with the deepness today. All right, Suk, I have to agree with you. See, getting them into activities actually instills disciplines and gets them on a routine to show that you work with a team. You don't work against your team, and your team is everybody. Now, I think that can work on both sides, because if we can get a bullied person and the bully on the same team, all right, literally like on the same basketball team, same football team, same soccer team, and they have to start working together because the coach won't allow for anything less, then all of a sudden you don't pick on people you're supposed to be on the same team as, right? Even though you have conflicts with your family, you guys butt heads, right? You do that kind of stuff. But if somebody else comes and attacks your family, don't you kind of stand together? Doesn't it all line up then? Don't you just stand together and be like, oh, I can talk about my brother, but if you say something, you're going to get it, right? So if we use that same dynamic in the team dynamic, then we can get some other solutions going here. All right, so, oh, this is getting good. All right. Do you let the bully indirectly kill you or give them a bloody nose? All right, Shelly, bloody nose, okay? So you can't do that, because if you take so much stress and you have run out of cortisol, you have run out of your coping mechanism that's just naturally produced by your body, you will commit suicide or drop dead from the sheer stress, all right? No matter how young you are, if you spend it, it's gone. All right, no matter what your age. People think that old people are more likely to die. No, not from stress. Stress will kill anybody at any age, at any time. So as soon as you run out of the precursors, as soon as you're not eating the right diet, as soon as you start those minerals and nutrients not coming into the body and they can't be replaced, and they have nowhere else to steal from in your body, guess what? Disease. And you know what the disease leads to? Death. So we cannot have bloody nose, all right? I will say that, but self-defense, okay? So Marcus Macon, awesome idea. Keep them busy with others in positive activities. The less free time a child has to think about negative activities, the less it controls them. Yes, positive activities. Mark, I love that. I'm going to have to write that down, okay? So I know I'm going to have to get that one. So it says, seriously, you're doing a wonderful job. Thank you, Hood to Hood. I appreciate that. So it says, Nisi Major, let the teacher have the bully stand up in front of the class and let each and every one of the students in the class pick on them and see how they feel. I don't know, because sometimes that can make the situation worse, depending on if the bully is willing to accept that and realize what they're doing, or if it will cause them to really think about what they do. See, self-reflection is not a positive or an overwhelming trait in a teenager, all right, or a young person. So I don't know if the teasing would lead to a more positive state for the bully. So that's I don't know. I don't think if we go one way, we go with the other. Somebody said that Wednesday about an extreme begets an extreme. And I don't think you have to fight an extreme with an extreme. Sometimes a bunch of little things add up to a lot of big things. Okay, so I do like the, man, shit, we're coming up with some good stuff here. All right. Yes. All right, so Shelly says she would break the president's nose. All right, so hood to hood. All right, stress, the silent killer. You never, man. I'm talking about stress will take you out. Okay, so don't ever believe that anything else, heart disease, all that, stress will take you out faster than anything. If you relieve your stress, that usually will get rid of about 96% of most disease. Okay, most disease. Okay, it says, oh, wait a minute, Devin. All right, so sue them with a personal injury lawyer. All right, now suing, sometimes that'll make the school get involved a little more. Now, that is a good tactic that has been used, and I brought that up in the slide yesterday. Parent decided to use litigation in order to make the school get on their job about watching out for these kids, so they have to hire extra security and that kind of stuff. I do agree with that if it goes too far, but don't let litigation be your first line of defense. Teach your kids to stand up for themselves, because let's say you do sue them and the school still does a better job. How does that help your child's self-esteem? Does that now make your child willing to stand up for themselves? No. So I think you have to do the steps in order, like we've been giving, so that your children have more of an options from their own mind instead of somebody stepping in for them and trying to make decisions or protect them when they can't. All right. Your job is to train them so that they can protect and stand up for themselves. Okay, good. All right. Talk to the kids in the community every chance you get. Let them see you're in the neighborhoods. Words are not the only answer. Become an example. Oh, man. Now, Marcus is getting on some real stuff here, because it hits on the way society is today, which is mostly lazy. They don't want to leave their house. They don't want to go down to the community center. I mean, last weekend, I went to a beautiful community center. They had a jump house. They had a gym that could fit 5 basketball courts, just wide open. They had a pool table. They had reading rooms. They had everything. And you know who was in there? Nobody. We had an event there. We rented out a little space of it, but I went walking around, and this place is spectacular as far as a kid wanting to spend time there. But, you know, I don't know what kind of activities they have on and off, but it was a Saturday in the middle of the day. They had all this stuff set up for the kids to do, and nobody was in there utilizing it. One family had rented another part, and they were playing pool for a while, and then they left. All right, the kids, I mean, they were having such a good time in there. And I wonder, why don't all the parents take their kids down there and we all get together and maybe put together a little thing where we get to know each other and stuff like that, instead of we have to be forced to go there. Oh my God, it's another baby shower. We got to go. That kind of stuff. Go to the baby shower, men, you too, all right, just to meet other people. See, the interaction, it all goes back to communication. That's what Marcus just said there so eloquently. It's all about education, all right? Communication, getting people to interact with each other. When you are the neighbor of a person, that person is less likely to take advantage, rob, or look the other way when something happens to you. You got to get friends, people. Remember, when you are on your deathbed, everybody has one thing: regrets. Things they wish they would have done, things they wish they would have gone after harder, things they wish they would not have done so that they could have improved the life of somebody else, right? So good stuff. So realize how amazing you must be for them to go after you, after your blood. That is correct. All right. So Devin, you are correct. They have to realize that, but you got to instill it in them. Okay. And then kids just play on electronics these days. They do, but we can actually use it for that too. You see, I'm on the electronics right now, right? We're watching a webinar live on YouTube. So that is electronics. However, are we going to stay in this form? We have to, because we live in different parts of the country. However, could we get together like this with the kids and have them actually interact with this? Because I would have loved to have had some kids on the webinar so we could find out what they are thinking directly from their minds. And you know what? I might do that. Get another series where we actually have the kids on and find out what they think, and if they were bullied, how they were bullied, why they were bullied, and how they feel about it. All right. Do they feel helpless, or do they feel like they can do something about it? See, it's all about empowering yourself with the confidence to see what you can do as a human being. What can I do? And oftentimes kids don't feel like they have the option of doing anything. They just think that mom is going to do this, and they have that in their head. Mom's going to do this, dad's going to do this, and it's just going to make the situation worse. All right. It doesn't have to be like that. So open that line of communication, get to going back and forth. And you know what will cause that to happen? Spending time with your kids. That will also alleviate depression. Okay. When your kids get to, oh, finally, I told mom and dad. When they finally get it off their chest and they finally tell you about something, see, that opens the door to tell you something else later. But at the same time, it builds a confidence that whenever something happens, I can come talk to you. See, that's what you want. If your child is being bullied, wouldn't you rather they come talk to you than start hanging a sheet from the light fixture and trying to hang themselves because somebody told them to do it? Of course it is. So we got to get down to what really matters: interaction, proximity. Marcus told us that in his story yesterday, proximity. Okay, so we got another one here. I got another comment. Let me see. All right. Okay, it says, have your children understand that hurt people, yes, very good. Stand up for yourself now in a strong, physical, strategic, and seemingly outlandish way. It scares them off rather than dealing with it for the first time. Oftentimes you interact with this bully. All right, so Belle, I love that comment. Man, Belle put some thought into that one. Okay, now that is true, because it's, again, displaying confidence, and displaying confidence is a form of communication. All right, be it body language, but it's still communication. Okay, so we got one here. Sitting next to a mother with a 2-year-old in a stroller last week, the mother was on her tablet playing games, ignoring the child. See, that's going to extrapolate into later life. And I agree with you, Shelley. Okay, so hood to hood. Every neighborhood needs a Dr. Sebi, Alvin Jackson, or what does they say? Layla Africa, about the holistic healing in the family. All right, you are correct, because that's what I believe in. All right, I believe in holistic, and I spell mine differently. When I say holistic with Human Health Link, it is WH, as in the whole body, not HOL, WHOL, as far as holistic. Okay, so I said you never go to one part of, oh, it's the heart. Okay, no, it's the spleen. Oh, no, it's the stomach. All right, oh, no, it's the liver. No, it's not one thing in your body. You see, your blood just doesn't run to one organ, does it? So that means that it's all interacting. So you have to treat the whole organism, not just a part. Kind of related to bullying, right? You don't just talk to the victim. You talk to the victim, you talk to the bully, you talk to the bully's parents, you talk to the victim's parents. Holism, right? That's how we do it. Okay, I think I got another one. Not quite. All right, now I'm going to go and I'm going to ask you guys some questions here, and I'm going to see, do you agree or disagree? So I have a little slide here that I want to show you, and I want to see if you agree or disagree with what we're doing here. Okay, so we got it. Let me see if we can present it. Here we go. And okay, I'm presenting. Okay, now I want to know if you guys can see what we got here. It says agree or disagree. All right, now I got a question under there, and I kind of explain what it means. So I'll read it off. You guys give me in the comments, do you agree or disagree? So first one, don't step in when it gets rough. If you jump in to help your child when they're being bullied, your child will depend on this help and expect it, or they'll remain weak and never gain the fortitude to fight for themselves. Do you agree or disagree? And if you want to throw it depends in there, go ahead and throw it in there. All right, I don't care. All right, but throw it in there. Give me your comments on this one. Don't step in when it gets rough. Do you agree with that or you disagree with that? If you jump in to help your children when they're being bullied, your child will depend on this help and expect it, or they'll remain weak and never gain the fortitude to fight for themselves. Okay, we got to see here if we have some responses. I'm going to go in here and see what we got. Okay, so we got some responses coming in here. It says, you're correct, but the bully is 60. Shelly, doesn't matter the age. Give me an agree or disagree. Agree until it gets bad. Okay, I'll agree with that. Okay, agree. Marcus says it depends. All right, and so he's in the same line with Shelly saying, okay, Suk says I disagree. Now, tell me why. All right, I need to know why you disagree with that. Okay, wait, did my slide go back? No, it didn't. Okay, all right, so we got it there. Let me put it back. All right, so I got that first one there. So hopefully you guys saw it, and it looked like it didn't change on my end. What happened? All right, it's still showing the same thing. All right, but you got Suk says they agree, and Marcus says it depends, and then Suk said he disagrees. So children should not know parents can protect. Okay, for that reason. Okay, I see. So you want the child to buy into their own strength instead of the parent having to step in, or knowing that the parent can come help, or big cousin or big sister or whatever is going to come help them. Okay, I think I got you. Okay, Grace. All right, undoubtedly not. It cannot cause a bigger issue than what it started out with, such as injury or death. So I have to disagree. So she's saying because it can go to such an extreme with bullying, it's almost better to step in every time. Now, I can't agree with that because you're not going to be there all the time, right? You have to think about that. You're not going to be there all the time, and you're thinking that if you step in to protect your child, which you can do, okay? I'm not saying you don't, but I'm saying if you step in for the child one time, what happens the next 5 times when you're not there? Do they just lie down and take it and wait for you? No. All right. So that's why I want you to, it should be about self-defense, because let's say, for instance, your kid does, they get picked on, you stand up for them 1 or 2 times, and then another 3 times you're not there. Now, because they feel you're not there, they're defenseless. So what are they going to do? Give me first response. What are they going to do? They're going to go get a weapon. They're going to use something to protect themselves so that the bully stops messing with them, and they just want it to stop. And some kids, they'll get depressed. They'll stop going to school. Other kids, they'll commit suicide because it's just that bad. So self-defense, that should always be a part of this. But I understand when you say, no, I disagree, because you want to make sure that it doesn't go that far. I understand, but you're not going to be there all the time. You're not. Okay, children live in a world unto themselves when they're in school. Okay, and you'll see this, and that's why I keep advocating. Watch 13 Reasons Why. The parents are doing almost everything that they're supposed to do, but they can't keep track of every minute of every day that their child might go through something. So I do wholeheartedly agree with that. All right. It looks like, hold on. Okay, I came back into focus. Okay, good stuff. Okay, now let me see here. I got to see if I can load this. I got another question for you all. So let me get to it. Okay, so this one is going to say, pow. I'm going to share it. And good. Okay, so we got it, and it's up. Okay, I'm going to go to the next one. Now, I'm going to see that this changed for me. No, it didn't. Okay, hopefully it does here in a second, but I'm changing the slide, but the slide is not changing. Okay, so good stuff. It says, now, the next question says, agree or disagree, are all the parents involved responsible? So even the parents of the victim, are they responsible for what's going on? Okay, now it says underneath, we all believe that parents of the bullies are the most at fault than the bully themselves. However, are the parents of the victim also to blame? So we're going the other way on this question. So I need to know you guys' opinions on this. Does that make sense? Okay, so Let me know what you think. Are the parents responsible on this one as well? Okay, so let me go ahead and stop it. I'm going to jump back in here. So I know you guys are doing it. So let's see what we got here. Well said, Mr. Jackson. All I can say is facts. Okay, Suk, if you are there and not protecting your child, I'm not sure if this will impact your relationship with the child. Okay, so maybe we can't determine how each individual child will react to that particular situation. So we will have to kind of ease off on that. But Grace says, no, I'm saying absolutely not. Do not step in. Just teach the child to stay away from that person who bullies them. Okay, I can agree, avoidance. All right, that's the best way anyway, if you're not getting along with somebody. All right, but in some cases, like in a school, especially when two students pass by each other all the time, sometimes it's just inevitable that they're going to run across this idiot or that's messing with them, boy or girl. Okay, but I oppose, in opposition to my answer, my son beat up 10 kids after he learned mixed martial arts. All right, so he's saying he has to put that out there. Even though his son learned to protect himself, when he learned martial arts, he had to beat up 10 other kids. Now, is that, Marcus, was it because they were messing with him and he was retaliating to beat up these 10 kids who might have been bullies? Or did he learn these skills and feel now he had become the bully in this situation? So I want to know the clarity on that. So Nisi says she agrees. Okay, if they know what's going on, Shelly says if they know what's going on. So if the parent of the victim knows what's going on and they're not going to do anything, they're just saying, oh, rub some dirt on it, don't worry about it, it's just kids, they'll get over it, and your kids are telling you that's not the case and you ignore it, that's trouble. Because now your kid will go get a weapon because they feel you're not listening, nobody else is going to help me, so I got to do something. So it's either protect myself with a weapon or suicide. It's not like a kid can get up, get in a car and drive to another city and stop being bothered. They can get up and go to another school. It takes a parent to do that. So if your parent is just saying, no, don't worry about it, it'll pass, it's just kids being kids, your kid might do something. And I don't like seeing that. So talk to them, at least. They should be coming to you. You shouldn't have to drag it out of them. It shouldn't be pulling teeth, all right? They should willingly and freely be giving you this information because they love you and you have a loving, open communication that they feel comfortable in sharing with. Yes? All right, so we got another one. So Marcus says, yes, martial arts doesn't teach that, all right? So no, it doesn't. So Marcus said yes. Okay, so did he become the bully? So I need to. All right, Brian Sparkman. All right, so one of my best friends in life, he's on here. It says all parties involved have an opportunity to learn something from the experience. You should give your child the proper tools on how to confront external stressors. Life lessons support your child. Okay. Oh, he sounded like a psychologist right there. All right, so excellent answer. Okay, now, when he says all parties involved, that's what I'm getting at for today. That's why the name of the video is Everybody's Guilty, because sometimes it's the bully and their parents, they're at fault, but also the victim's parents, are they at fault? Now, I can't really blame the victim. They are being picked on. I can't say it's their fault. But it is your parents' fault because they're not training you in self-defense. They're not training you to verbally defend yourself. They're not training you to walk away or are doing little scenarios, doing little skits with you at home to see how you would react if this happened. See, when you say, okay, let's get up, let's do this, okay? This is what I'm going to say. I want your response. And most of the time, you know what your kids are going to do? Because they're so lazy, because they're so into this technology. I'm doing something. Can I just sit here and, you can just tell me, I'll remember. All right. No, get your ass up and we're about to do this right now. Okay. And that's what we need, because you don't let your kids tell you what is going to happen. You tell them. That's why you're their parent. So that when they do and they look back, because we've all done it. We've all looked back and says, man, I'm glad my dad taught me that. I'm glad my mother told me that, because I would not have been able to deal with this situation if they did not. You didn't like them for it at the time. You didn't like that ass whooping they gave you for running away from home. But it taught you later on in life that there's a consequence to doing stupid stuff like that. Yes? Okay, so that's what we got to say. Okay, you guys have given some excellent examples today, and unfortunately, we're 15 minutes over right now. But so what? We're gonna see what just a few more things we can get out of this, so people can take home these actionable steps right now. Take them home right now. I like that. All right. He was still being bullied, and he was avoiding them until they jumped on him in the lunchroom. And he beat up 10 kids. He does not like to fight because the gym will not let him train if he does. Okay, so good stuff. So he is into mixed martial arts. They picked on the wrong one, and unfortunately, the can of whoop ass came out. See, sometimes that's what has to happen. But pay attention, there was no gun. There was no knife. There was no violence going on, because you can't, the 10 people that he whooped, they can't justify what they did because they jumped on one person. So he was being bullied. They were pushing him around, decided to jump on him, and then all of a sudden, he took some heads off. And that is what has to happen. Now, I'm not sure what could happen as far as these little cowards coming back with knives or guns and stuff like that. You can't predict that. But you can't let yourself just be beat down and let it go, because that could cost you your own life. So no matter what, sometimes interacting with humans, things have to happen. And unfortunately, young people are a little short on the wisdom side. Okay, so hopefully the school got involved after that and kind of straightened things out. Okay, Shelley, bully, if you tell a teacher or your parents, I'm going to get you the next time twice as hard. So the bully does say stuff like that. Okay, and that's what I was talking about earlier. I think I said that on Tuesday when we were talking about this. Sometimes you can make the situation worse by the parents getting involved if they bully you, and if you tell somebody this is going to become twice as bad, well, let it become twice as bad. All right, teach them to defend themselves, and his twice as bad won't be as bad as your triple as bad. Okay, so that's what you want. You got to stop this person from messing with you. Okay, Grace, parents are somewhat at fault because some parents can be a bully at home, which cause the child to be afraid and not know how to be strong for themselves. So she's saying that the victim's parents can be bullies to the victim, and now they got it coming from both sides. Excellent point. I didn't even think of that logic. All right, I didn't even think about that situation. That's a domestic situation I had never thought about, but it happens and it's shown a lot. Okay, so I like that one, Grace. Grace, you have hit it out of the park on that one. All right, I know we got a lot of home runs on this, so I'm actually loving this data that you guys are putting in here. So I'm going to go to my last one here, my last slide. Bear with me. I know it takes a while. I'm getting used to this. All right, it's I got to start sharing my screen here. All right, so we got it and we're sharing. Okay, now the last one says bullies should be shown love too. Okay, so it says at the bottom, most people would say the victim deserves all the attention, but does the bully deserve to be treated respectfully after they've shown little or no respect themselves? Oh, that's a deep question. Do you agree or disagree? Bullies should be shown love too. Most people will say the victim deserves all the attention, but does the bully deserve to be treated respectfully after they've shown very little or no respect themselves? So do we withhold love from the bully? Because, do you agree or disagree, bullies deserve love too? So do we withhold the love because they've been disrespectful and they mess with somebody else's life? Or do we show them love in hopes that they will change for the better in the future? Let's find out. We got to see here. All right. Let me see if I got something else. Good. All right. Very nice. All right, so I'm going to come back to you here. Let's do that. All right, so we got it. We got a few responses going on here. Let's find out exactly what we got here. It says, Bell, agree with loving consequences. All right, Bell, love it. Marcus Macon, I agree. Shelley, tough love. All right, so I agree with that because KA said the same thing yesterday. She said, you can punish, you can come with a love, but not excuse the behavior. You can tell them, yes, we love you, we support you, you should not be doing this to people, but you know what you did is wrong. We are going to have to punish you for this, but realize that this is another human being's life you're messing with. And I don't see how you don't think that's important. Let's talk about your family situation. And then see, when it turns to that, you might see that bully's face switch. Then, oh, my family situation, why would you want to ask me about that? Because it seems you have no problem bullying little Timmy over there. But when it actually comes down to us talking about your parents, it seems almost like they're bullying you. Is that what's going on at your house? He might open up, he might not, but we need to find the answer to this. See, that interaction, that works. So we got to get to, that's what we got to get down to. After we strip away all the arguments, after we strip away all the facades, after we strip away all the administrators' rules, all the poor school policies, and get right down to it, the only thing that really solves a problem is communication. You know that, right? The only thing that solves a problem is communication. The only thing that solves a problem is communication. The only thing that solves a problem is communication. Now, sometimes that communication is, most of the time, it should be with words. Other times, it's self-defense with your fists. That's communication too, letting you know you're not going to mess with me like you mess with these other people. It's all about communication. Okay? Let's see here. All right, tough love. Yes. Whoop that ass, then help them up. All right, that's love. Hood to hood. All right, so hood to hood loves to jump to the violence first and then fix it afterwards. All right, I want you to fix it first, and then if that doesn't work, then you whoop that ass. Okay, so how about that? All right, it says here, Devin, yes, kill them with kindness. All right, and I like that. I like that. You can be dominantly passive. And that works a lot of the time. You're dominantly passive. Okay. Okay. We'll try love first, but if that doesn't work, Alvin, the can of whoop ass has to be opened. I'm just saying. I know. I know. Nisi says, I agree. You have to handle it with love. Okay. Grace, some bullies are not giving love and affection at home, which can cause them to become bullies themselves. That's why they need love too. I believe it. Love cuts. It's the deepest emotion you can get cut with because it goes right to the heart and it affects you the most. You see, a lot of people become crazy because they don't get love from their parents. A lot of people go off the deep end, become crazy because they don't get affection and love. Do you guys know a human being can die from not having human contact? Let me give you a little example. You guys might not have heard of a field. It's called epigenetics. And in epigenetics, one of the first experiments they did was they call it the rat experiment. And what happened was the rats were actually used in this experiment to demonstrate if physical health was a factor in human contact, thus love, right? So what they did was they took one mother rat, and the mother rat mated and had a litter, or a whole bunch of little rats. So they divided them equally, split one rat off, one litter up with, split them in half, litter one, litter two, right? When they split up the rats into their different litters, there was only one difference. The rat, litter one, got to stay with mom. Litter two were by themselves. Now, granted, they were both fed the same diet. They were both fed the exact same thing, treated the same, temperature the same, everything's the same. The only difference is litter one got to hang out with mom. Now, when litter one was tested 3 months later, guess what? Litter one, who stayed with mom, lived 3 times longer than the average rat should live, because they had the company and love of their mother, cuddling and all that stuff. All right, mom is just around. They didn't feed off mom. Mom doesn't have udders. She's not a cow. Mom is actually there with the mice. She's helping the mice. She's just being loving, just being there. The other litter, a mouse usually lives, I didn't get the exact time there, but it usually gets to live this long, okay? That got expanded 3 times with litter one. It's shortened almost down to 1/3 with litter two. No mom. So nobody there to care for you. They develop tumors. They develop cancers. They develop leukemias. All right, the rats did. All because, even fed the same thing, all because mom was not there. Unbelievable. They said, let's see if it's not just mom. So the second experiment, rat experiment number 2, they took one full-grown rat, okay? So white mice, or that's what they are. Laboratory rats are white mice. And what they did was they simply had a human being hold the mouse for 5 minutes a day. Other rat, no contact. All right, so you come in, hold a little mouse for 5 minutes. All right, so just wiggle them around, let them sit on you. You didn't have to snuggle them or anything like that. You just had to hold the rat in your hand, and he felt the warmth and the love and the contact. Exact same result. The rat lived 3 times longer than the average rat would live, but the one rat who was by himself died early. He had tumors, he had cancer, he had leukemias. I could not believe this when I heard it, because that reinforces the bond between a parent and the first time a child is born. So the best thing you could ever do is hold your child right after they're born. They've been with you the whole time but when they come out, they have to be reattached to mom and dad. They have to know that love is the same on the outside than it is on the inside. And they always have that love. But that doesn't mean you're going to stand there and protect them for their entire lives. They're going to have to learn on their own. But you have to get down to the depth of what this means. It's important. Even that, communication. All right, one body to another, communication. All right, so we got some stuff here. Some bullies are not, oh no, she already said that. Because most of the time they have issues they're dealing with. And that's true, Nisi. You have never said a true statement. They are dealing with issues, and they're trying to find the best way to cope with that. And oftentimes that is taking out their anger. And they can do that. Some bullies, they do. They take it out in sports rather than on another person. So some bullies, they do direct it in the right way. Other bullies, and I can't call them bullies, because if they never pick on another human being, they're not a bully. They're just blowing off steam. But when you do it to another human being, especially one who cannot match you or stand up to you because they're so much smaller or shy or not a fighter, that can detrimentally just harm that kid for the rest of their life. They could think about that for the rest of their life. So why would you want to do that to another human being? Okay. All right, Brian Sparkman, he says, are we similar to rats? In every way, okay? That's why they use rats, because it's most similar to our physiology, all right? Not in looks, but in physiology, yes. All right, Brian Sparkman, there was also a case study done in the 1940s on withholding the affection and love from newborns. The newborns with limited interaction died months later. All right, so Brian, he's a biology guy like me, so he knows about some of the case studies here. And what you'll notice is that anytime you don't show love, anytime you isolate a human being, like putting them in prison, why do you think they go crazy? It's part of your physiology. Your DNA changes when you receive love and if you don't receive love. And I want to take this a step deeper. If you guys can, I want you to read a book or watch a documentary called The Water Experiment. And all it is if you put hate sayings on the outside of a water bottle and then examine the water after it's frozen in its crystallized form, if you put hate sayings on the outside of the water becomes ugly. It has no shape, no form. It is all over the place. However, when the positive sayings are put on there and the water is frozen, you know what happens when you see that water under a microscope? The water takes on a snowflake or a crystalline-like structure that is extremely symmetrical, like the circle of life. If you've ever heard or seen that, the circle of life. So if you haven't, Google it right now, the circle of life. All right, it's a whole bunch of triangles that if you put them together, it makes a perfect circle in symmetry. Okay, this is what Egypt was built on. All right, symmetry. Okay, so good stuff. Absolutely. So it says epigenetics is the reason you don't stress a pregnant woman, because the stress will imprint on the infant. Ooh, oh, we're getting deep now. See, we're getting to the cellular. All right, the cellular components of healthy health and well-being for a human being. Maybe the bully became a bully in the womb, not in the living room of their parents. Maybe it happened a lot earlier. Maybe the victim was taught not to stand up for themselves and cowered away because he heard mom and dad arguing all the time. Could that possibly be? I'm here to tell you, yes. All right. So I'm going to try to wrap this up now. I know we've been on here for a long time. I'm going to try to cut these videos down to a shorter version so that we can get to the information a little bit more quickly, like me switching in between the slides and things like that. But I want to make sure that you guys got all of this stuff. And I'm going to wrap this up with another slide. I got a takeaway here. So let me see if I can get it. Okay, hold on. We're getting the hang of this. All right, we got it. Got it. And present. All right. So there we go. Now, we got the takeaways. I got the takeaways here. Now, I think this is the last. Hold on. I think this is the last one. Yes. So, what are your big ideas on engaging bullying head on? You guys already gave them to me, so I don't even want to, you guys don't have to give them again. You guys gave some excellent ones. I want to get some of the ideas and put them into a form, put them into videos so people can interact with this stuff, and I'll put it on here so they can download it. All right. Give your thoughtful feedback so as to help someone struggle with this right now. So we're all good there. Okay, so we're all good. So what we're going to do is I'm going to ask you guys for your one final takeaway from this bullying, the finale. What final one short sentence would you put together and say, this is what you should do in order to help a parent on either side deal with this the best? I know you guys have given some wonderful, if you just want to reiterate what you said in a shorter form on your comments, but I want to know right now your takeaways. All right, now I have to give you mine as far as what I see with the bullying on both sides. All parties have to be included when a resolution is trying to be formed. You cannot do this in a vacuum and think that legislation, think that going to the principal is going to fix any of this stuff, because you're dealing with one part at a time. It requires the whole of all of these things being put together, holism, in order to make this thing work, because then and only then can we get free communication between all parties and realize where everybody's coming from. Everybody. That's my takeaway on this. You need the free exchange of ideas without interruption, without censoring. Get it out. All right, I want to hear from some of you. All right, it says here, my parents were there physically, but not emotionally. That's a big statement, because Nisi realizes that your parents can be in the house. That doesn't mean they're present. That doesn't mean they're interacting. That doesn't mean they're showing you love. It just means they're there for 1 minute. Maybe they're working too much. Maybe they're ignoring you. Maybe they're so tired when they get off work, they don't have time to deal with you, even though you are their child. Okay, so good stuff. I also think that bullies bully others because they want to feel for themselves what it feels like to be in control. Ooh, deep psychological reason there, yes. Because they cannot fight back, they're bullying parents. Wow, that's deep, and that's true. And I would say that's true for most bullies. You can't fight back at home, so you got to fight somewhere. And I would say, hopefully they could guide that in another direction. Hopefully they could take that out in sports or on a punching bag or working out in the gym, instead of trying to pick on or destroy the self-esteem and the life of another human being, another student, another person. All right, good stuff. To simplify, bullies are vibrating on the wrong frequency, and someone needs to help put their dial on the right channel. Enough said. Now, if we can do that in a non-violent way, I am completely for that. Hood to hood, that is profound. Okay, Mark is making, educate yourself by coming to presentations like this. As a group, we can make an impact that we cannot make alone. Oh, I love it, Marcus. Marcus is saying what I'm saying. Bring it together. Free exchange of ideas and see how we can help each other. Remember that one neuron I talked about yesterday? By itself, one neuron is dumb. But if you put 100 billion of them together, which make up your brain, they come up with almost any possibility. Okay, good stuff. Hurt people, end of story. Brian, we couldn't agree more. Love it. Grace, parents should have to sit down with their bullying child and find out what the child is missing at home and begin to work on it with lots of love and hugs. I like that, because see, even Grace is throwing in some of those epigenetic things we just talked about, love and hugs, right? Sometimes that's enough to change the entire physiology. I'm another human being. You could be mad at somebody, just mad, and if somebody just walked up to you and hugged you and be like, oh no, I forgive you, it's okay, you know, no big deal. Then all of a sudden you might be like, what just happened? I was pissed at you. What are you doing hugging me? All right. And it's kind of hard to be, you know, an ass to somebody who just gave you a hug, who's just showing you extreme positivity. It's kind of hard, isn't it? We got some more takeaways here. What of parents that think that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger? There's nothing wrong with thinking that if you're not in a bullying situation. But what is a problem is that requires, if you're taking the what makes you stronger, if you're taking these hard situations, that requires you to have self-esteem. If you don't have the self-esteem, you can't live by that mantra. So if you're building your self-esteem, or if you got high self-esteem, you can do that. However, if you don't, it'll kill you. So we got to think about both sides of that. Okay. Talk to your children. Nisi, that's what I'm talking about. Talk to your children. Okay. I also agree with Mark. There you go. Hood to hood. Nice, Grace. Okay. So, and I agree with the whole thing. So what we're going to do is I am going to try to put these together in a shorter video, try to splice them together a little bit more quickly so we can get to the answers more. I don't want anybody waiting on this material. I'm going to try to splice them together as quickly as I can, and we're going to get this done. Okay. Now I am going to take you guys' comments. I'm going to try to put this in a form. I'll put it underneath the videos as a download so you guys can download the PDF and maybe even hand it to somebody, but don't just hand it to them. Offer to help them if you can. Offer to show them the videos, listen to some advice. All the stuff that we've given on these webinars, that's been excellent as far as giving some information that somebody can use this evening. Now, you can't wait a week. Your kid might be beat up. Your kid might be bloodied. Your kid might be dead if you wait a week. All right? Don't wait. Do this now. If you know somebody who's in the situation, you know kids who are being bullied, tell them. We'll do a live webinar a whole week just for them so they can get their point of view out on these videos. And that's what I want. I want the kids' and thought process on this. I want to know what they're thinking. I want to know how they are managing and dealing with this, meaning that they have limited coping skills. I want to know. So everybody, I'm going to say goodbye for today. I had a pleasure talking to you all. The webinar has been absolutely fantastic. I cannot have had a better interaction with a better group of people. I love you all. Remember, I am not doing this to promote anything, anybody. I am doing this because I want to help children live a better life without being bullied. I want their psychology to be clear. I want their minds to be open so they can go on and do great things in this life and not have to worry about anybody else suppressing their light. All right. And I bring that up because one of the people in our forum has the appropriate name, the light. I want our kids to see that. I want them to be able to grasp, hold on to, and express their own confidence freely without anybody stepping in for them. I'll talk to you all later. I'm going to say goodbye. I see all the people in here. So Marcus Macon, Grace, Shelley, all right, Hood to Hood, Nisi, The Light, all right, K.A., everybody who's on here. Hopefully, Mona's still looking at us from London, okay? I hope all of you are having a great day. Enjoy your Friday. I hope I didn't keep you too long, but I'm just going to say goodbye to you all. Thank you for your suggestions. Thank you for interacting with me this week. Thank you for giving actionable solutions that we can use to get bullying kind of eradicated on a local level. And if we do a whole bunch of small things, I think we can make this into a big positive thing. I'll talk to you later. This is Alvin J, the most passionate non-doctor on the internet. I really do appreciate you guys doing this, and I'll see you later. All right, peace and peace. No tie today, but doesn't matter. We got it done. I'll talk to you. Share these videos. I'll talk to you later. All right, Alvin J signing off.